Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. This is the Brew Party Podcast, episode 115, 115, and we're feeling alive, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Hopper back once again with an OG guest. I believe the first guest we ever had on the podcast, a legend, longtime friend of the Brew Party. It is Grant Baker. Grant is joining me to talk some NFL. We'll recap week 5. We will preview week 6, give you some picks that are absolutely going to hit this weekend. Before we do that, I want to remind you, please subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/the brew party. Like this video, comment, tell us what you are taking this weekend. And follow us on social media at the Brew Party on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We are at the Brew Party Podcast on Facebook. And if you're interested in some merch, some Brew Party merchandise, we have that available now. That's the best way to support the show if you would so choose to. It is Brew Party. God damn it. The Brew Party store on Etsy. So www.etsy.com/shop/the Brew Party. So we'll get right into it. NFL week 5, we'll talk about it. I hit my first fucking parlay of the NFL season in week 5. It felt very good. Nice little 4-leg prop parlay plus 700. And then I had actually was really good on most of my straight bets as well too. So it felt good. Feels nice to finally win one.
It's like the old Office. Kevin Malone. It's just nice to win one.
It is exactly what I was thinking. I retweeted that GIF after the Bears ended up winning their first game on Thursday on week 5. I'll just jump right into it. Then I'll ask you about what you liked from week 5 because I'm already talking. I'm getting going. I'm looking at it on my screen. Justin Fields, 15 for 29, 282 yards, 4 touchdowns. Him and DJ Moore essentially were the entire offense. 8 receptions on 10 targets for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns for DJ Moore, running all over the Washington defense with those yards after catch. He was everywhere. And then the defense actually didn't look terrible. They only allowed 26 rush yards. They had an interception and they forced and recovered a fumble. So doesn't have me buying all the way back in, but Fields has certainly looked pretty fucking good the last 2 weeks. And it's nice to, like you said, it's nice to finally win one. It's nice to just get on the board. A game I didn't think they were going to win. A game they won by 20. They put up 40 points. Holy shit. I don't know, but I'm feeling a lot better about Fields. Maybe not so much the coaching staff still, but it's just good to win a fucking game, dude.
Thoughts and prayers to our good friend Greg Huss for stashing DJ Moore on the bench.
Yeah.
Big brain play by him this week, but I don't live and die with the Bears with every snap like you do, like people in Illinois do. So me and my younger brother, were just watching the game, enjoying it because we don't have any skin in the game, just rooting for chaos, really. Just because I wanted to see the Twitter meltdown. The last touchdown pass to DJ Moore was about 6 to 8 inches away from maybe being a pick 6 or an interception. And that would have completely changed the outcome of the game. And that was kind of what I was hoping for. So happy to see Justin Fields do well, not wishing any ill will towards him. But we were rooting for just complete chaos on Bears Twitter for what that's worth.
As you should. I mean, it's going to be chaos no matter what happens most of the time. Somebody's got something to bitch about. But anything else? What else stood out to you from week 5? Would you like that was not Bears related?
Not Bears related. I think Jacksonville finally looked like the AFC South preseason favorites that we know they can be. Lawrence had 300 plus and a touchdown, and then
really good.
ETN had a pair of touchdowns and 120, 130 plus yards. So didn't think it would be against Buffalo that they strung it all together. But Jacksonville playing in their home away from home, London. I think I forget the exact percentage. I want to say the under in the London games is hitting at like 70% or something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so they played, this one was at Tottenham Stadium, and London, like the total there, like overs are 5-2 now there. But going into the game, yeah, they were 5-1. And the total going into this was 48.5. They scored 45. I know that because I was thinking I was going to start my morning with a victory, and that was one that I missed out on. And I missed the Giants
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins over by half a point.
Yep. Was it 47? I think
I
it was
think
47.
it was 40, something like that.
46. Yeah, something like that. The other thing too, and this is just a classic like dumb sports brain thing for me. Not that you would ever be a victim of that or anything, but uh,
wouldn't wouldn't
I
know.
really I really want to take New England +3 this week. But they suck, and I just can't get that out of my head that they're not the New England that we're all used to.
Yeah.
34-0 is atrocious. It's like Texas Tech. I just always want to bet Texas Tech overs. I just can't get it out of my brain that Mike Leach and Cliff Kingsbury aren't there running the air raid anymore.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech overs used to be automatic. New England against the spread used to be automatic. And I just can't get that out of my head anymore that they actually suck that bad.
Yeah, no, you see the name and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, 100%. 100%."
Like, yo, Belichick? Like, yeah, of course. Duh.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Just like I do that literally all the time. Or like these games that have gotten me lately where it's like you look at the line, you're like, "Okay, why the fuck are they the favorites? Like, what do they know that I don't know?" And I still bet against it. I'm like,
Yep.
I can't like make myself not do it.
That's why
Um,
Vegas has gold buildings.
and yeah, we we don't need to get into how poor I am. Um anyway, let's move on because you talked about something that I actually have a question about because you are one of the few people I know like this. You don't have a favorite NFL team. You don't.
Mhm.
Well, one, how does that happen? What is that like? Sundays, I assume you're just rooting for anybody on your fantasy team.
Yeah, it's fantasy and then, like, DraftKings stuff. But, I mean, I'm from Iowa originally, right? So there's no NFL team there. So when I was a little kid, I thought the G on the Packer helmet stood for Grant, and the initials on the scoreboard was GB. So, naturally, Packer fan. And then moved to Indiana in, like, the Peyton Manning heyday. So I like to see the Colts do well, and then I have an uncle in Denver, and then when Manning went to Denver, pulled for Denver too. So nothing like if I had to pick, it would probably be the Packers, but I don't really like it doesn't ruin my day when they lose.
Yeah.
I'm too emotionally invested in recovering from emotional hangovers every Saturday with Iowa football to care enough about the NFL.
See, exactly, and I don't know how I just continually do it to myself with Illinois and the Bears, and I've done it for years, and it is rough, rough. Right now I'll have to have you back on to do some college football talk because I know that is more of your thing than NFL, but obviously you've been well, I guess not obviously for everybody listening because they don't know, but you've ran our fantasy league for 10 plus years now, which is crazy that we still have this thing going.
It's nuts, dude. We were 14 years old. We started the league. That's crazy.
So all through high school, up until now, we're all through college. Some of us with kids and married and wives and shit. Some of us like Grant, coming to us live from his mom's basement. But that's all right because he is damn good at fucking fantasy football and he usually beats most of us. And oh, by the way, I have a qualm with your brother. I cannot believe he snuck out that win against me today. I thought I had that shit wrapped up,
He was
bro.
talking
And
about he was talking
yeah,
about he was like, "I'm beating Andy by literally 2 yards."
yeah.
And then his receiver just wouldn't catch, and Dobbs tried to extend a play in the late 4th quarter, and the ball was exposed on, like, a 4-yard out route, and, there was a mini heart attack in the
Well,
Baker household.
and then it was just unbelievable that because I had CD Lamb going, so I figured like,
Mhm.
okay, like he's gonna get me something decent. Like I literally needed one more catch, something like that. But he finished like because our league's a little different. It's not PPR. The scoring's not the same. So he only finished with like 4.6 points or something like that. Just absolutely shit the bed. I thought I had that. I thought I was gonna move to 4-1 and feel real good about myself. But 3-2. But the best thing about that league is we are all usually right in the middle. If there is one team that's way better than everybody else, like it's literally only like one team. And everybody else is usually pretty even. Besides
2
Trey, I think he's 0-5 now.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have a loser in the league.
Hmm.
It 2 quarterback league, and then I wanna say there was one year the team with the most points scored didn't make the playoffs just based on like the record. So yeah, super competitive. I always enjoy doing it. And there's no money. We don't play for money. It's
Yeah,
just
it's literally
strictly
just
pride, personal pride.
pride and talking shit. I want to Greg brought up a great point because so we call it the Vinny's Bros Fantasy League. Every Friday when we were in high school, we would meet at this a pizza place where you get pizza by the slice. I don't even remember what the deal was. I think it was like 2 slices for like $5 and they were like New York style, like big slices. So we'd meet there every Friday. We call it Vinny's Viernes. And then most of the guys that met there were in this league. And then it just kind of grew from there. Vinny's actually closed. I just saw an article happenstance this last week when I was scrolling through Facebook that they're coming back. And I shared it, tagged a bunch of the guys in it because what I would do for another fucking Vinny's Viernes, a Friday with all of us there just bullshitting, eating some pizza. And Greg brought up a great point, fucking idiot for not playing DJ Moore. But he did bring up a good point. Says loser should have to buy everybody a slice from Vinny's. And I think that'd be
That's fair. It's a
great.
good punishment.
That'd be a good punishment. At the one year that Nick had to go to the Ball State women's basketball game alone, painted up, I think is all
I could
time.
send you pictures if you want. If you
Yeah,
want to plug that in the pod somewhere, I still have those pictures
yeah.
saved in the camera roll somewhere.
I absolutely will. If you can find them.
Oh yeah, I know right where they are.
One of my all time favorite stories. But anyway, just basically it. So yeah, so your Sundays are just root for chaos and hope the guys you started are going off and your bets to hit, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah, responsibly, absolutely responsibly. So speaking of bets, let's talk week 6, man. Like why not? Let's just get right into it. Basically how we do it on the show. I'm going to go through every game. If you got a pick for the game, we'll throw it out. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a prop, it could be a spread, money line, over, under, whatever you think. So we'll start off with this. I think this is going to be an awful game on Thursday, but it's football, so I'll watch every second of it. Denver going to Kansas City plus 10.5 is what they're getting. That's a lot of points. I don't know if Kelsey's playing or not. And then over under 47.5. So I don't know. What do you make of this game? Because I just, to me, it seems stinker, but it is also, I'm so hesitant to lay 10 points in an NFL game. You know what I mean?
In our side conversations that we have, it's unbelievable what your dog is doing. Professional gamblers hit at like a 56 to 58% clip. Your dog
Mhm.
is like 12, 3, and 2. That's
Yeah.
incredible in
Which,
NFL primetime games. So I don't have an opinion on NFL primetime games. If this game was at noon or 3:30 on Sunday, then I would have an opinion. It's a primetime game. I don't have an opinion. I will blindly follow your dog. So
I
he could adjust Denver to -6, and I'd be like, all right,
let's
let's do it.
ride. Yeah, we're gonna do it. That's so funny you bring that up because I totally forgot to bring it up at the start of the show. The run is over, folks. Brew had not lost since week 1. He started the year 0-2. From then, he won every time except for 2 pushes. So they essentially didn't happen. So, like Grant alluded to, he lost last night. Of course, it was the fucking Packers that fucked him up. But he is now 12-3-2, which is like 70% or something insane like that. So yeah, you're so right because I never know. I'm like, Brew will pick it for me and I'll put 10 bucks on it, 20 bucks on it or whatever. And we'll go from there. Excuse me.
He does he channels his inner Julius Campbell from Remember the Titans because he goes to his right every single time.
I think so far this year he's gone left twice. And like I'm not doing anything different. Like, and a lot of the times, dude, watch his face when he
Oh,
does
he
it.
he Philly fakes out the whole time.
He will fucking stare at the left one and think about it like he's never like harder than he's ever thought about anything before.
It short circuits
And then
somewhere.
I don't even have to say go. Like he knows the fucking drill. I say sit down and wait. And he calms himself down. He sits. I put the 2 treats there. I say, all right, wait. I take a step back. I bring my camera out. I do my pan up thing. He knows to let me kind of step back. He'll look and then he just fucking go. I don't even have to tell him to go, dude. Like he knows the drill. But yeah, it's funny because I was at work today and one of my buddies at work was like, you know what I noticed? He goes, your dog goes right like all the time. And I was like, yeah, it's a running theme. He's been doing it for like 3 years now. And still hitting an insane clip going just to the right, by the way. So for this one, yeah, absolutely. Look out for the pick on all of our social medias. Thursdays, I try to post it a couple, at least an hour before kickoff. So look out for that. Next, so we have it's 3 straight weeks with a London game. Unfortunately not involving the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. It would be hilarious if they made them play in London for 3 weeks in a row. But it's Baltimore and Tennessee. Tennessee technically the home team. But Baltimore getting 4 points, over under 40.5. That feels low, Grant. What do you think?
I don't know. I'll probably take Baltimore just to have some action on it because it's a standalone game that early in the morning. Derrick Henry with another rough week this past week. I want to say 13 or 14 carries for like under 50 yards. He's a living, breathing proof of why teams don't drop massive bags to running backs anymore. Like you only have X amount of carries now as a running back. Derrick Henry, Hall of Famer, absolute stud, but he's not. Maybe I'll eat my words in 2 or 3 weeks, but which is very possible. But I don't know. I just don't. He's been their whole offense for the past 4 or 5 years, and 14 carries for 45 yards. That ain't it anymore. And Baltimore's got some electric dudes on their side of the ball, so I'll probably take Baltimore to cover that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So I probably would take Baltimore here as well because this feels like a game where they're going to come in pissed off because they absolutely shouldn't have lost to Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Yep.
I know Pittsburgh's defense is really good, but the offense is the opposite.
I actually had a note. I had a note for our week 5 games, Pittsburgh. Everyone makes fun about how like them and Iowa look the same because of the uniforms. They're starting to play the same. Just
Dude,
atrocious offense, pretty solid defense, and then they'll win on some fourth quarter bullshit.
I almost put that in the notes is Pittsburgh the Iowa of the NFL? Because again, everybody does, well, oh, the uniforms are the same, but legitimately they are an insane defense this year and their offense is abysmal.
It's the Spider-Man meme. The
It
the point.
absolutely, dude, it absolutely is a Spider-Man meme. But dude, like the Baltimore, like they had so many just like wide open drops. Like
Yes,
there was one in the end zone. There was one that was like a walk-in touchdown.
Aguilar
Uh, which he's had bricks for hands for
per
years,
usual.
but yeah. So, but to me, this feels like a get right game for them. Tennessee, like you said, if they don't have Derrick Henry, what else do they have? I mean, I guess okay, DeAndre Hopkins, but and Ryan Tannehill's serviceable, but like he's not that's not a sexy name. That's not a name that gets you excited at quarterback. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, that's the Titans offense. That's the adjective that we're using to describe them now. Is serviceable. I mean that they have one of the best NFL running backs of all time, but he's on the back nine for sure.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. I mean,
I
they have
I
one of the
trust
best.
them.
They have one of the best receivers of all time on their team
Yeah.
now too.
Yep. I trust there's more juice, there's more life on the Ravens offense right now. Lamar's electric.
I get it. I like that. I guess you just don't know which Titans offense you're getting or which
Yes.
Derrick Henry you're getting, but I do kind of like that over 40.5 as well. That again, I'll probably get me
40's
Sunday.
low. 40's low.
I know, and it'll get me Sunday morning where I'm like, oh, it's 8:30. I'm up with my kids. They're watching Bluey. Let me get some fucking action on this NFL game. Next, so the first 12 o'clock game we've got 49ers going to Cleveland. I believe Deshaun Watson back. Niners getting 5.5 and over under 37.5.
Oh, I love that. The Big Ten West fan in me just absolutely is Beth Mullins calling this game?
Yeah, she's calling this game on ESPN2.
The 49ers confirmed good at football.
They're the best team in the NFL.
Also, shout out George Kittle, tight end you, first touchdown score plus 1,200. Thank you. Cash that. Thank you. You're welcome for that one.
That was awesome. I just wish I had put more than $5 on it.
Give me the Niners, dude. They're hot. Whatever. The public might be all over this pick. I don't care. Sometimes the public's right.
Dude, no, the public is hitting at an insane rate so far through 5 weeks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just saw a stat on Twitter this morning from one of the guys that does the statistics for MGM or something like that. But I think I'm at the point where I will just blindly take the Niners to cover in every game until they don't.
It's like the Patriots where we were like, well, I'll just take the Patriots blindly to cover, in the Belichick Brady era. It's like, well, the Niners, you can talk about explosive offense.
I mean, yeah, dude, their weapons on offense are just insane. And then the fact that they hit on Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy from Ohio State, who's now
Iowa
suddenly
State.
Yeah, Iowa State. That's what I meant. Iowa State, who's now suddenly, like, you could make the argument the way he's playing a top 10 quarterback in the NFL is just absolutely insane. But
there is a prop bet, one of my NFL Week 6 prop bets in there. Are we getting to that later in the show?
No, do it now. Do it now. Yeah, sprinkle them throughout.
Sprinkle them in. Brandon Ayuk, anytime touchdown score. The odds, since that's a Sunday game, the odds aren't out yet for that, but I'll take Ayuk anytime touchdown score. You mentioned the Thursday night game, Chiefs Broncos. I do have Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown score. So he's week 6 now, no rushing touchdowns. I think he's probably due for one of those like QB boots inside like the 10-yard line, something like that. So that's a plus 275. Those are my 2 touchdown props right now.
I like that. At Alex Caruso on Twitter, not the player for the Bulls. He's he drops picks and stuff like that. He tweeted out a list of guys with the most carries without a touchdown. And it's like guys like Bijan Robinson's up there. So check him out on Twitter if you're looking for dudes that are just fucking due to score. He's a good follow for prop bettors and gamblers out there. All right, next we'll move on to the Commanders going to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Falcons getting 2.5 over under 42.
I have the Commanders to cover.
I like it,
this
dude.
game.
I like it. I also think this is worth a sprinkle on the money line at plus 118.
This is classic, like just the ebbs and flows of the NFL,
where everybody's going to pick the Falcons, right?
Yeah, Falcons have been hot lately, or as hot as the Falcons can get, I guess. Washington started out hot. There's been kind of a lull the past few weeks, so naturally they're going to cover this week. So that's a system play. We've talked about system plays before. In March Madness, I think this is a classic. NFL ebbs and flows. Give me the Commanders. Give me Sam Howell.
We are we're on the same page there. Next we go to one that might get kind of rough. The Panthers are going to Miami to play the Dolphins. Fins are getting 13.5 over under a 48.5.
We'll get to it eventually. I have another game that's at like 14 right now that I'll put some action on. I don't want to have 2 games that I have action on where the spreads are that big. So this will be a game this is like one of those red zone games where I'll have red zone up on Stream East. Shout out if you know, you know, where there'll be like 3, maybe 4 plays throughout the afternoon of this game. That's it. This is maybe as unsexy a matchup as you could have in the NFL.
This is
I just don't care at all.
Every time on red zone that they do show them, it'll be, and we cut to Miami where the Dolphins have just scored on a 76-yard touchdown. Tyreek Hill got loose again.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't wait. If I were to bet anything on this, I would throw the over. I also think Miami team total is worth a look because they're just really good and the Panthers are just really bad.
Yep.
Next we go. This will be a rough one in Chicago. Bears hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings without Justin Jefferson. They're still favored. They're still by 2.5 over under 44.5. I think DJ Moore at this point, you just take his over on yards. You take him to score every game until they prove that he's going to throw to anybody else. And then I think KJ Osborne props are worth a look because I think he'll be trying to force feed him in the pass game with no Jefferson. Um, Bears, I absolutely think could win the game. Am I going to pick them to win? Fuck, I'll probably talk myself into it on
You will.
Sunday.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk myself into that they're going to win, and I'll live and die with it. But if I had to make a pick for the show right now, I'll take over 44.5. It's two not good defenses at all.
We haven't mentioned his name yet. Maybe a little recency bias because he's been real hot. Cole Kmet's had a nice little
He has.
2023
That
season
is
so far.
that I also think he's worth a look to score a touchdown.
Red zone target for sure.
Absolutely. And then Fields, I don't know, like it's been so up and down with him. Obviously, not the last 2 weeks. He's looked really good, so you'd assume he's going to keep that going, but you really never know, obviously. But they tend to, if you look at his passing prop numbers, they're typically pretty low. Like sometimes it gets down to like the 180 or 170 or whatever. I don't know what it is right now. But I think that's something to watch as you go throughout your Sunday, because if he plays anything like he has the last 2 weeks, he'll fucking smash that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bears at home, hopefully get a win over the Vikings, but we'll see. So next we go to Colts are going to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Jags getting 4.5, over under 46.5. Colts do have Jonathan Taylor back. He played last week, but did have was sharing carries with Zach Moss, who Zach Moss actually had a fucking awesome game last week too. So he's kind of like, yeah, well, not so fast. Like you're not just going to come in here and take all my carries.
I think this is a classic, backup quarterback comes in for one game and lights it up. Gardner Minshew has perfect backup quarterback energy. Like he's the textbook backup quarterback. With Anthony Richardson out for at least this week, probably with the little conky with the concussion. The Colts very well could go one and whatever for however long Anthony Richardson's out for. But backup quarterbacks just getting thrown in the mix, and Gardner Minshew's such a gunslinger,
And it's a revenge game.
Yeah, revenge game. Great point. I forgot about that. I might sprinkle money line then.
Oh, I think we have to take Minshew props now too. We take his over on yards.
Little SGP, because I do think if the Colts win, Minshew's probably going to have to play pretty well because they'll probably stack the box against Taylor and Moss and dare Minshew to beat them.
Yep. So they don't. Okay. So we're recording this on a Tuesday, so we don't have the player props yet. I'm looking at FanDuel for. I don't know what everybody's book is, but FanDuel currently does not have any props on here for Gardner Minshew. But yeah, Gardner. I didn't even think about that until absolutely this moment. Gardner Minshew revenge game. He was on the roster. They drafted Trevor. And he got replaced. So let's see. But I am all in on that. I will definitely sprinkle.
The more we talk about it, the more I'm just talking myself into it.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely, and that is where the dumb sports brain gets into it.
And if Minshew comes out with some funky facial hair, you know it's over. You know it's over, dude.
Dude, he's an all-time football guy. He chugged a fifth of Jack Daniels and tried to break his hand to get an extra year of college football. He's incredible. Next we go. The Saints are going to the Texans. Saints favored by 1.5, over under 42.5. The Texans, they're not terrible. I guess they haven't looked terrible. They did lose last week on that last second field goal, but CJ Stroud has looked like maybe the best rookie quarterback so far.
He's kept himself out of trouble. I don't know if the Texans are still bad. I just think they're better.
They're like fun bad though.
They're better than what we were expecting them to be.
That's a good point.
This game screams under to me. I'll hammer the under in this game.
How many points did the Saints score last week? Let me look.
30. They won 34-0 against New England.
Right. Okay, so that was the first time that they've scored over 20 points on the year. So yeah,
this screams under to me. So take the over, I guess, if you're that confident about something.
Exactly. Under 42.5. Life's too short to bet the under, but we got to do it at least once anyways. So under 42.5 will be the play. Next, I think this will be a fun game. Seattle going to Cincinnati. Cincy favored by 2.5, over under 44.5. What do you make of this one, Graham?
Since he has to start covering some spreads eventually, right? They finally look like they strung some things together last week. Granted, it was against Arizona, so you, me, and my younger brother could probably cover a spread against Arizona. I'll take Cincy to cover 2.5. Burrow got paid for a reason.
And they've kind of like, it felt like last week the offense finally kind of got right. So I think that and they're at home.
I'll take
Feeling a little
Cincy.
bit, yeah,
I'll take Cincy 2.5 probably.
yeah. Since he feels like a safe play. And then we go to the first 3 o'clock game. Don't get too excited about this one, folks. The Patriots going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. You were talking about this one earlier, Grant. Line currently at plus 3.5. The Raiders are favored by 3.5, over under 41.5. After watching that game last night, McDaniels clearly does not trust Jimmy G. They do not want to throw the ball, even though they have Devontae Adams on the roster. And Josh Jacobs kind of got going a little bit last night, but still, he's having a very rough start to the year. If we want to talk about rough starts to the year, hello, New England Patriots. They're terrible. Do we lay the 3.5 just simply because they're the Patriots and it's Bill Belichick going to play one of his former assistants?
This is a game I'll probably just stay away from.
Probably a smart play.
The Patriots are due to cover a spread, but we've been saying that for the whole season, and it just doesn't work. And then on the other side of the coin, Vegas has the best player in the field in Max Crosby. He's a complete game wrecker. He'll just ruin every single game. Um, so I'll just stay away from it because I don't know what to think of it. That's probably I'll take like first touchdown score if I really want to, or like an anytime touchdown score, but I'll probably just stay away from it, to be honest.
I'm with you on that. No, 100%. And I've actually, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I found myself doing that more this year, is not feeling like I have to have fucking action every game. Like I've found myself more and more scrolling through each week being like, I don't want any part of that game. I'm good. And I again, that comes with just more experience as a fucking gambler and knowing how shit goes. But we'll move on. This one is going to be an interesting one. Detroit going to Tampa Bay. They're favored by 3 points. Always weird to hear that the Lions are favorites, but they're actually a good team. Over under is 43.5. Tampa Bay actually kind of, I've never been like a hate Baker Mayfield guy myself. I don't know about you. So it's kind of been, I don't know. It's kind of cool for me to see him not being that bad in Tampa Bay. Kind of, looking all right.
I'm going to take Tampa +3 this game for sure. I love Detroit. I think they're really good. I think they're legit. I also think the NFC North sucks
Yeah,
hard.
really bad.
So they're the best. They're the best team. They're also the best team by default because the division sucks so hard.
Sure.
84% of the bets this week on DraftKings are on Detroit. So this is a classic fade the public week, or game rather. I know last week the public was like really good. What are the chances they go back to back weeks of beating Vegas? So I'll take Tampa here, and also everyone is so high on Detroit, rightfully so. Like they've proven it. But I'll take Tampa +3, depending on what the money line is, and depending on, since this is a 3:30 kick, depending on how well I do in the first few
I know that
games,
feeling.
then I might sprinkle money line. Um, is
Current
it a 3:30 kick? Did I make that up, or is it a
No,
3:30
you're
kick?
right,
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah. There's
326, Tampa +3, money line currently +140.
Yeah, that's still not, if it gets up to 180, neighborhood of 180, 185, then I might, and depending on how poorly or good I do in the first slate of
Again,
games, yeah,
hu
yeah. So subject to change, definitely, but I'll for sure take Tampa to cover the spread. Money line is up in the air.
hungry dogs run faster, my friend. We've all been there. Next one, Arizona Cardinals going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. Rams getting 7 points, over under 48.5. I kind of like the under. myself here, and just take whatever over receptions you can for Cooper Kupp because they're just going to force feed him the ball.
Yep. You said the same thing I was going to say. I'm not going to sit here and break down the Cardinals. They suck.
They are kind of like the Texans, though, better than we thought they would be, but they're still bad.
Yeah, they got that upset against the Cowboys, but they still
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. Let's move on to the last.
That's the analysis you come for, right
I
there.
know yeah. I'm all in on it. That's why we have him on the show, folks. A hard hitting. Last 3:30 game. Philadelphia going to New York. New York coming off that win against the Broncos. I loved that last second scoop and score or whatever the fuck it was, pick six, because I had the Jets alternate spread. I had them. I took Jets money line, Jets -2.5, and then Jets -6.5, and they all hit, which I was very happy about. So this game, though, Philly getting 7 points. They're undefeated going to New York, over under 42.
Jalen Carter, confirmed, good at football.
Yeah, really good.
Confirmed. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I might stay away from this one too, just because I feel like everyone is going to be on the Eagles. But then the Jets have also been like, kind of not trash since Rodgers went down. So I don't know. Both teams, I think, are probably due to not cover a spread. So
Right.
this is, I mean, one team I think, so I'll probably just stay away from it
Yeah,
and just save my funds for the primetime game.
we saved the funds for the primetime game, and our Lord and Savior Brew, and his pick. This one is going to be a doozy, folks. Brian Dable going back to Buffalo with his New York Giants, who have been just really bad so far this year. The Bills are favored by 14 points, and the over-under is 44.5. That is a huge spread. I think you teased this a little bit earlier, Grant. What are you thinking?
This is where I really hope Brew takes the Bills. I do not want to put money on the Giants. If he does take the Bills and the line is still at 14, I mean, granted, still, 4 days out from kick, 5 days out from kick, whatever it is. So it might change. But if at kick it's still 14, I'll probably adjust it to 13.5 and take the slightly worse odds.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think everyone
That's
in their
worth
right
it for
mind
me, yeah.
everyone in their right mind knows that the Giants have no business being on the same field as the Bills. But I want to get it inside that football number so then I don't get screwed and get a push when everyone knows who the best team on the field is. So I'll take, I mean, it's probably what, -14 at -110. I'll
Mm-hmm.
take -13.5 at -120. Whatever. That's worth not a push to me. So I really hope Brew takes the Bills, but I'll take the Giants if Brew rolls with the Giants.
We'll see how it goes. I love Diggs over yards. And then Gabe Davis has scored in his last like 4 or 5 games, so I think that's worth a sprinkle. We'll see where the Sunday takes us on where we're at, like you said earlier, when we get to Sunday Night Football. But not the sexiest matchup, but that's what we got this week. We'll go to our last game of the week. Actually, I think it'll be a fun one, as long as the Cowboys play better than they did led in week 5. Cowboys are going to LA to play the Chargers. They're favored by 2.5, over under a 50.5. I don't know. I want to root for the Chargers here. They're just so hard to trust because you just never know what you're going to get from the Chargers.
Chargers are going to Charger. They have all the makings. Now, Grant, I know they've been in a pretty difficult division, AFC West, the past couple of years. You would have think that they would have figured it out by now to
No
get into the
shit.
playoffs somehow, some way. If Brew takes the Chargers +2, I'll probably take Chargers money line plus sign Prince. I'll probably
Yeah,
just take.
no, I do the same thing because last night he took the Packers +2.5. So I just said, I'll just take the money line because
Yeah,
it's not
it's not a touchdown spread.
it's not. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. It's not a football number.
Right. Yep. It's the same logic for the Bills game. Get me inside that football number.
I love it. I love it, man. So any other prop bets, anything I missed, anything else you like for this week?
Prop bets, no. Especially we're recording so early in the week, so some of those touchdown odds haven't come out yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I do like Mahomes anytime touchdown score plus 275. That one's out because it's a Thursday game. And then I like Ayuk anytime touchdown score. We'll see what that comes out at. I was gonna say I was keeping an eye on the Bucks game last week, and Evans ended up hauling in a touchdown. Death taxes Mike Evans. He gets 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns every year.
Mm-hmm.
He got a touchdown last week, so I'll probably stay away from a Mike Evans touchdown this week. But yeah, those are my two prop bets. We'll see how the week develops, but that's kind of what I like. NHL just started, so I'm sure I'll be sprinkling some NHL and European hockey action to get me through the rest of this work week as well.
Oh, I love it, man. And we are in that period where there's like 50
Oh,
straight
it's
days
everything.
of football. So and there is everything now too. So NHL just started. We have the MLB playoffs. NBA preseason is going. I really, if you are betting on the NBA preseason, please 1-800-GAMBLER is probably what you should call. But still, there's just nothing for me like betting on football. It's my favorite.
3 o'clock this Saturday, Iowa, Wisconsin, under 36.5. That's free money.
That's a system play.
That's
Like when
free
you
money.
talk about, just that is an ATM machine
Just
right
how
there.
disgusting that is and how much lack of faith Las Vegas has in these two teams. I checked it before we jumped on this call. If you adjust, the lowest that DraftKings will let you adjust it to is 31.5. It's only plus 170. If you adjusted a legitimate football program to under 31.5, it'd be plus 400 or 500 minimum. It's flirting with even money in the Iowa Wisconsin game.
That should tell you all you need to know about the Iowa offense, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't let you get out of here without talking some Iowa football, and then again, I'm sure we'll be in the group chat with old Luke pouring out some bets for this week. And shout out to him. A couple weeks ago, he turned $5 into $1,600.
Yes,
which that is.
talk about ROI.
I want those bets shared with the group the next time. God damn it. But yeah, shout out to you for the Kittle first touchdown bet. That was awesome. And then I think on Instagram, we have like almost 4,000 views on that stupid little fucking
on
meme.
the Biden one. The Biden one.
Yeah, it helps everybody. Stimulates the economy. Okay. Nobody gets hurt. This has been the Brew Party Podcast, episode 115. I'm Andy Hopper. That's Grant Baker. We thank you for tuning in. Grant, I appreciate you joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. One of the oldest friends of the party, one of the most tenured guests of the Brew Party Podcast, joins us once again for episode 115. Find us everywhere. Find us wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Pods. Anywhere you get your pods, just search The Brew Party, www.thebrewparty.com. Go to youtube.com/The Brew Party. Like this video, comment on it, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend. Follow us on all of our socials at The Brew Party on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We are at The Brew Party Podcast on Facebook. If you're interested in supporting the show in any way, check out the store on Etsy, www.etsy.com/shop/The Brew Party for some brand new Brew Party merch. Over 40 different items available in the store. Hoodies, t-shirts. I've got fucking dog hoodies on there. I've got a dog bandana. I've got a mug, which Grant has now. I've got a glassware for your alcohol, whatever kind of alcohol you so choose to put in there, or non-alcoholic beverages. It works for that too. For everybody that has supported so far, including you, Grant, I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Means a lot. And then, check out the store. Thanks for watching. NFL Week 6 preview featuring the one and only Grant Baker is here. Check us out. Let's go Bears. For Grant, he's just rooting for chaos. He doesn't really care. I knew he was a fucking closet Packers fan. He's never truly admitted it, though. Did now. Anyway, we're out of here. Take it easy.
One more thing. Western Illinois homecoming this weekend. Neck Nation, Neckaholics.
Neck
Stand
up,
up,
baby.
neck up. They're going to take it to Missouri State. We're due for a win. Neck Nation.
Oh.